thank you all for coming. We're going to make this very brief and get going. But thank you for coming. We want to tell everybody that this COVID thing, as you can read, is not over. It's getting worse by the day, apparently. Luckily for us here at South Shore Falls, we seem to have taken the proper steps. And we're okay here, but we're going to maintain the status quo and be sure that we do remain okay. The pools and the clubhouse will be open on a limited basis as it is now over the weekend. Please understand that we don't want any large gatherings, either at the pools or in the clubhouse. The clubhouse is just to come in and out to use the library, a few people in the billiard room if necessary, and the office will be open except for Friday and the weekend. So enjoy your weekend, enjoy your friends. Remember that masks and social distancing are the key to keeping this COVID crisis out of here. We are continuing our policy of residents only using the amenities. So no guests are going to be allowed at the pools or in the clubhouse or on the courts until further notice. The awning that we took down from the tennis courts, we have a price here. I'll send this around to everybody to take a look at for $1,350 to reinstall that awning. Asphalt resurfacing. Jason, you want to tell us where we are there?
Yes. I drove the property with the asphalt contractor yesterday. We have a punch list that was completed. He's trying to get back Friday. He has the machine he needs to pop up the asphalt that was on Falls Boulevard that came from the milling truck. He needs to bring a little skid steer over. It's in a garage doing some work right now. He's hoping to have that done tomorrow and then bring it over here Friday. If he doesn't get here Friday, he'll be here Monday and do the punch list that we had drove around. He's gonna sand the driveways, or not the driveways, excuse me, the parking lot here in the drive areas, and recompact some of that area to clean up some of the areas that were twisted up. Also on the west end of Mystic, down at the cul-de-sac, the garbage truck had made some decent turns there and chewed that area up. He's going to take care of that while he's here, as well as a few potholes that we found around the community. He's going to go in and put some cold pack in there and pack them down so those potholes are filled in the meantime till we do those areas on the back side of the community, till we resurface those areas. But by mid next week, everything should be completed here and that project should be out of the way. There's still some striping work to be done that while the striping crew was here, they were still finishing some asphalting, so they'll finish that up as well next week.
Okay. Ponds, you got
Sure.
Go ahead with the ponds. We have a quote in front of us for doing Pond 9 for an additional algae treatment. That's part of our regular pond maintenance. It's an extra maintenance, but it's part of the regular pond maintenance. So I'll send that around for everybody to look at too. But Pond 9 is, for some reason, with this dry weather and the high humidity, if you wanted it to grow, it wouldn't, but we don't want it, and it's growing like crazy. So we need to get that treated. Go ahead with the rest of them.
We met with Solitude yesterday. Ron Wallace and I did, and some of the pond committee. We went over to Pond 7. There's a lot of questions about Pond 7 and what we're doing. Solitude is going to be providing some ideas and estimates to continue the work there and complete it with a prettier look to it than what's there. Currently, as we dredged, we got down to a point that we couldn't dredge any deeper, and the water levels are not returning to the height to cover that area. So we're having to find other options to beautify that area. They had some good ideas as we walked through it, and they're going to put together a package to different things that we can do, so we have some options. and we should have that by the end of next week. We also have been in discussions with the contractor working on Pond 8, and we're trying to get that wrapped up as quickly as possible. We expect that the water levels in Pond 8, due to the fact that currently they're low and they'll still cover that area, and we can increase that water in there. So Pond 8 doesn't have the same concerns that Pond 7 has. Pond 7 being, and some of the residents that live in that area, I've talked to them, so they understand that it is a retention area and not technically a pond because it was a littoral shelf there. That's why it was built with a higher water table, so it would drain off of there and run down through that canal. But we're looking for options to make that look much nicer. Pond 8 was a littoral shelf, but it was designed to be an underwater littoral shelf. But Solitude is working with us to get that resolved and give us some options of things we can do to beautify that area. And we're going to get that going as quickly as possible as soon as we get the price and the approval. You want me to continue?
Yeah, keep going.
All right. Staff update was the next item, and Corey is now working with us. He's completed his training as far as Castle Systems, so he understands how to use the computer programs. He's been working with Brooke the last 2 days to transition the lifestyles information so that he can take that over, and he should be going pretty strong here soon. So he's pretty much completing his training, and that's our current staff situation as far as any things we got going on.
Okay, thank you. And you've got staff over the weekend?
Yes, we do.
The holiday weekend?
Yes, we do.
To check on the pools and everything?
Absolutely.
As we go around?
Fully staffed for the weekend.
And we have opened the gym earlier at 6 o'clock for a few early birds to come. I think we've worked out the details out with that. That seems to be working all right. Okay, the next thing is election news. As the mailing that you received stated, if you would like to run for a seat on the board of directors, we need to have the intent to run form in the office no later than July 3rd, which is this Friday. Your candidate information sheet, if you choose to run, needs to be in by July 10th. We're going to do the second mailing for the election on the 17th of July, thereabouts. The meet and greet for the candidates is scheduled for 7/22, July 22nd at 2 p.m. We will have it here in the ballroom, but it will be by video if things haven't changed in the COVID world. The annual meeting is scheduled for August 19th at 2 p.m. The election committee will count the ballots that come in. It's a mail-in ballot, Amendment 6 passed. So everybody can either hand deliver a ballot or they can bring in their ballot at the meeting or mail their ballot. But the ballots must be received in the office here no later than 2 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Whether or not there's a quorum for the meeting of 217 people, if 217 people turn in a ballot, then the election will go forward whether or not there's a quorum for the meeting. If there's no quorum for the meeting, it'll just be adjourned and we'll reschedule it sometime in the future. But the main business of the meeting is the election, but since it's a mail-in ballot, the election can go forward whether or not the meeting has a quorum. So a few people have asked if we're going to provide postage for the mail-in ballots. There probably isn't time to do that now. Our postage budget is, we've had several extra mailings because of Amendment 6 and because the other election had to be canceled and rescheduled. And we tried to get a hold of the post office to see if there's any way to put a return business reply mail that's pre-done, but they're not taking any calls and aren't setting up any of those things. But for the following years, if that's something that people want to add to the budget, we can certainly add to that. It's all about money. We're trying very hard to stay within budget. Our costs, for this COVID thing, some of them have gone down, some of them have gone way up. But by the board meeting, we'll have a better handle on where our budget is. Anybody else got anything? I mean, the asphalt looks good. The scoop is out. There's a scoops in the lobby. The audio visual system, when we get the other parts in for the camera and the new microphones in, the microphones will feed directly into the camera, which will feed directly into our YouTube account. You'll be able to watch these meetings at home as they occur. They'll be live streamed either on YouTube and maybe Facebook. I don't know anything about Facebook, but they say that's possible. So that from the comfort of your own living room, you'll be able to watch these things live if this COVID thing goes on very much longer. But it seems like Florida and a few other states are really seeing a tremendous surge. It does seem to be in the younger people, they seem to be getting sick farther and farther. But it's really showing that, you know, us older folks doing their due diligence, social distancing, wearing masks and stuff, really means a lot. It's the only way this country is going to get out of this mess until we get a cure or a vaccine, which I guess is on the horizon, but how close, I don't know. Anybody else? Oh, you have we're getting new mats for the entryways, and the company that does this has some towels, say Del Webb on them for gym towels or whatever you want to do. You can buy those for $10. We have them at the desk. So if you need a gym towel or a ping pong towel or a yoga towel, we have them. Okay, anybody else got anything else? All right, we'll cut this short. Anybody got anything important? They gotta start over here. One each, and then we gotta get going.
I have a question for Jason as far as the blacktop punch list. When you looked at it, did you look at the storm drains in the middle of the streets?
Yes.
And what I noticed when I wrote it and looked at it, I don't know what the terminology is, but they put like a silk barrier in.
I mean, those have been removed.
Well,
If it-
my question was this, when I looked at them, this was like the day after they blacktopped, a lot of the heavy material had landed on them. Some of them were already ripped away. So my question is, are they going to vacuum up or something to get the crap that, if you take that grid up, everything's going to fall down. So how did they deal with that?
Yeah, usually whenever they pulled them out, most of them they cleaned out. They took a shovel and cleaned out. If there's some that we find in there, when they're out here next week, he said he would take a peek in and make sure they didn't leave anything in there. But we did check we checked as many as we could while we drove around, but he said if there's any left in there, he'll pop them up, and if there's any millings that are inside there, they'll shovel them out.
Okay.
I have a question. If we're trying to remain residents only, why are non-residents now using the bathrooms at the back pool? Is that acceptable? I tried to get an answer to this a couple days ago, and I didn't get an answer.
No, they shouldn't be there.
There should not be in the back pool, and
Well, I asked you this on Monday, and you never answered me. They're still using it today, so now we're not residents only.
well, we are residents only, and
They're not residents.
we are, I understand. However, we don't have staff for that back pool, so we watch the video camera as much as we possibly can. We have people going back there every 2 hours currently, and we're going to increase that to hourly. However, if someone sees somebody back there that's a non-resident, if they report it, we have gone back there and asked them to
Is
leave.
this Alexander's you're talking about?
Yes, but why don't you just tell Ron Raines to tell those guys not to use
Yeah,
those
let's
bathrooms?
get him in here right after this. Let's get Ron Raines in here right after this. I thought that had been, he fully understood. Don't they have a thing right out here?
Yeah, they have the one up here too.
All right, we'll take care of that. I was unaware, I thought that had stopped.
At the
Okay.
last meeting, somebody asked you if the staff was going to sanitize these tables and chairs periodically. Are they or aren't they?
They
Yes,
are
they're
doing that, but luckily for us, and the reason we were able to open the pools as wide as we did, is that the information from the CDC says that in high humidity and out in the sun, these tables and stuff, in any, not just here, everywhere, the life of the COVID virus is extremely short, in minutes rather than hours. So we are wiping those down, but we have no way of knowing if someone leaves a table with someone else. But that's the reason we are able to do that. All right, one more.
Okay, I'm on condo sending pictures to the pond committee for months of showing the deterioration of Pond 9, all the scum.
It's an additional algae treatment over and above the one they did yesterday, the one you just gave me here. They did one yesterday, they sprayed the pond, this is an alum treatment
Yeah, it's
in the water that's over and above the normal course.
It hasn't been working. Because it's
Well, we're okaying this today, so they'll be out here to do
They're
that.
doing that today?
It's the next step. Well, I don't know if they'll do it today, but we're okaying it
Try
today.
to sell a house when you got all that scum in the back.
I live on that pond,
Yeah,
trust
but
me.
It's on our end, I know.
And you guys are blowing it all to my end.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, you all remain safe. It's a holiday weekend. Enjoy. If you want to have friends and neighbors over, have them over in your driveway. But please social distance. We've done a great job keeping ourselves safe. Let's keep it up. God bless everybody.
I don't know.
Good timing,
We just went over the solitude stuff.
Corey,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm April Camp.
Hi.
Did you find out anything about this?
Yeah, I was talking with Jason about that, so I'm sorry, I'm just gonna turn this off. They're gonna have